Conversations with all and eat on. Me and my brother, we sit up in bed watching the Jordan Peterson giving ourselves all kinds of brain damage, and it was another one of those and eat on episodes. And it went like this.
I just figured this out this week. At one point, there was only one book, literally one book, and that book was the first book. It's chronological.
1 hour later.
In many ways, the first book was the Bible. That's wrong, because the Bible isn't a book. It's an aggregation of lives, but the truth is encoded in the lives, which make the Bible true lives. But it's not exactly that.
2 hours later.
And so it isn't that the Bible is true. That's wrong, because the Bible is way more true than true. In some sense, first post-true book. It's a whole different kind of true.
3 hours later.
So, in any case, we were talking about an infestation of postmodernists in a civilization. That's not right. The answer is you build a culture with the Bible at its base, and then arbitrary hierarchies of power emerge out of that underlying Bible.
6 hours later.
Really what it is the history of hands moving in low resolution.
6.5 hours later.
You heard of the internet?
No.
You sample that internet. The problem is that the internet is postmodernist and is dissolving Western culture. You understand that. That's wrong.
8 hours later.
So now then you think, now how do you understand the postmodernist internet? You build a low-resolution Bible out of scrolls and stories and papyrus and listening to fundamentalist talk.
Allahu Akbar.
2,000 years later.
And then you see the internet through that. It's a hierarchy of ideas.
1 eternity later.
The entire corpus of Western culture is a hierarchy of hierarchies.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Can't be any other way. It's the only way we can solve the problem of postmodernist perception, is literally dissolving the human brain through all sorts of technological transformation. Now imagine that. That's an idea.
It's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
My brother turned to me and said, why do people still think he's smart? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's got a great big PhD. Probably